that he had a fight, a verbal fight with Meghan, and said, why don't you go out and earn some money? Do something properly to earn some money instead of just spending all your money on clothes.
Well, Meghan Markle has managed to make another woman's baby shower all about herself. As Meghan's mole posted, only Meghan would make another woman's baby shower about her. Angela Levin, I thought of you. Great to see you, by the way. And Angela, I thought of you when I saw this picture of Meghan, because it's that deranged laugh that you talk about, that demonic, oh my goodness, I'm the happiest person in the world, when deep down, actually, everything is falling apart. What did you make of this? And of course, by the way, I should point out that this is, some sort of baby shower for her BFF, who, of course, is the chief membership officer of Soho House. So we know why she's friends with this woman.
Yes, well, she might need it now if everything goes even further wrong between her and Harry. Well, I think there was obviously nothing else to do. And she thought, she's got to be shown as being happy and looking pretty. And so, the laugh has got to be there. So she went along. It's just that she didn't want to not be seen. But what it did was, for me, was to think, now, why are you there and not out, sort of telling everybody about the polo? This is important. You should try and produce, say to everyone
Exactly.
who
This is
produced
your
it.
livelihood, right? Like,
Yeah,
getting people to watch this show is your livelihood. But all you
yeah,
do is turn up to red carpets looking demonic and a bit deranged, rather than actually promoting this show, which is going to keep
yeah.
you in your mansion. I agree. I think the priorities are warped, Angela.
Well, Harry didn't either. And I mean, it seems to be extremely odd that they would do that. Why do it if you're not going to try and promote it afterwards? But I think Meghan is now desperate to be seen. I think she's acting it out that she's, very happy, everything's lovely, and oh, this little baby and the baby bump and all that sort of stuff. She's very happy to laugh and show how wonderful that is. But it's not getting anywhere at all. In fact, the question mark gets larger and larger. And now, what on earth is happening? Are they going to be together over Christmas? Who knows? I mean, that's a key thing too, isn't it?
And will they post any images to try and put, I guess, this speculation at rest for a little bit at least? Because
Well,
it's
it
very,
depends
very
which
bizarre, isn't
photographer.
it? The lengths
Sorry.
they're going. Well, I was just going to say, it's very bizarre the lengths they're going to not to be seen together, Angela.
Yes, well, it's in capital letters, isn't it? We are not seen together, but it makes the relationship just hopeless, really, because if you were still together at any level, you would meet for a few days and then go off, come back, go off. Loads of people work out of where they live, far from where they live, but they always come back and then go off again. But this way is as if they pretend it's all honky dory and how happy they are. They can't stand the sight of each other. They can't stand hearing their voices. And so they're just keeping far, far, far away. And she's obviously trying to build up another bunch of pals.
Because, Angela, isn't it fascinating when you think the last time we saw them together at all was in November, when they filmed that Remembrance Day video? Now, we don't even know when that video was filmed, but what we do know is we've got eyes, and we can see that in that video, they absolutely seemed like they couldn't stand the sight of each other.
I believe that was done quite a while earlier. I think it was September, or maybe beginning of October. So, you're right. It was done because we have to do that. And they wanted to wear the poppy to show the royal family that, they're involved too. And Meghan is actually wearing an American one, apparently, and Harry is wearing a British one. So that's, a bit silly either, isn't it? But they were standing there like two sort of, I don't know what, unmovable people who would, wind them up and they would say something.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, Angela. One of the reasons behind the tension, though, seems to be Harry's, and I'm going to use this word again, deranged mission, because Angela, I am absolutely convinced it is a deranged mission against the British media. He wants to shut down the free press in his home country. Now, that is a shocking thing for a member of the royal family to do. And I know you've been looking into this claim this week that Prince Harry is actually trying to turn the case against the Sun newspaper or NGN newspapers, which publishes the Sun newspaper, into a public inquiry rather than actually a civil legal case, which is what it's meant to be. And I should state again, Angela, as you know, that I have agreed to give evidence in this trial if need be.
Yes. Well, it's very interesting. But what is even more interesting is the next sentence that I will say, and that is that he wants to do this to seek the accountability for others who have already settled claims. Now, why does he want to do that to, tens and tens of people? If they don't feel happy about it, they can do it for themselves. They don't want to look to him to do that. And this accountability is something he's saying all the time, that, people should be doing it and it should be right. But it's a nonsense. It's an absolute nonsense. And actually, if it happened to me and someone came up and said, look, I want to take you on because I want to make sure that the accountability is done, I'll say, get lost. Mind your own business. So it's a very weird thing that he's actually not necessarily doing it for himself. He's doing it for a whole load of people who he doesn't know. Very odd. Now, if he does want to do this, and if he is given the permission to do this, which the judge is not at all keen about, he's got to spend 4 days in the witness box and go through about 30 articles. Now, it's going to be very difficult to fit that in. Why does he want to do it? He wants to make it sound bigger and more important, and that will upset the king and everybody else as well. But that's exactly what he wants. He wants to destroy everything. And actually, particularly with people like us who read a lot of papers, they want to get rid of them all. He only wants a paper where there is one journalist who will say nice things about the clothes and the weather, but nothing about any, say what they really feel about things, unless they're controlled. Well, this is not Russia. And
No.
this is not China. We'll come to that in a minute, but it's certainly neither of those things. And
Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes.
he doesn't deserve to try to do that for us. It's nonsense. And he should have better things to do. In so many ways. He should be looking for an interesting career because he seems to be able to escape most of the things he's doing. He likes the things he's done 3-4 years ago, with the various charities and doing quite well. But he should try and look forward to do something, that he hasn't done before, and he can help him behave like a normal person. It's ridiculous that he's hanging on like this.
The thing is, Angela, is he's not being honest, because trying to suggest that he is doing this for other people is rubbish. This is about vengeance and revenge. And the thing that I find extraordinary is that this is starting to be a big part in the decline of his marriage. I mean, look, we know there are lots of other issues there, but remember, his wife has said, I don't want you doing this. It is eating you up
Uh,
inside. Yet he
no,
goes on.
she might, no, I mean, don't listen to that. I mean, she might just have said that because she wants to look like Mrs. Goody, but I don't believe, I wouldn't listen to that. She often says things like he said before, that everybody hated her, and the royals didn't let her go out. She couldn't fly off anywhere. And then it turned out she went to 14 different countries, that she wasn't stopped. They kept her, she said, they got her passport. I mean, I can give you loads of lies that she said, and this could be another one. She wanted to look good. Harry does not look good doing this. So Meghan, who likes to keep away most of the time, can just say something that she thinks that she looks, positive and sensible all about. But off screen, she could say, why don't you get on with it? You should be doing it. I don't believe what she's saying ever.
Yeah, well, I guess it was very similar to the release of Spare, wasn't it? She could
Yeah.
have really tried to influence it behind the scenes, but instead what she did when it came out and it was a bit of a disaster, that was when she publicly distanced herself. But I would say, Angela, having been through, unfortunately, this type of legal action myself, not through choice, it is miserable. It does impact your relationships because it becomes so overwhelming and so stressful going through something like this. And I find it bizarre that he is choosing to continue to dive in to these battles. Now, I know on stage with Aaron Ross Sorkin in New York last week, he tried to say, oh, no, 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 these have chosen me. I haven't chosen these, but that is rubbish. He has absolutely chosen these. And I think you also make a good point. Mate, focus on making some money. Focus on doing your job, because actually none of this stuff is actually going to give you the sustainable career that you want. And your finances are running out because you insist on catching private jets. You're going to lose all of your big contracts. Spotify's already gone. Netflix is either going to go or see a dramatic reduction in terms of the amount that you're paid. And you've received your last multi-million pound inheritance from your great grandmother, the Queen Mother. There is no more money coming in.
Somebody said to me, and I don't know if this is true, that he had a fight, a verbal fight with Meghan, and said, why don't you go out and earn some money? Do something properly to earn some money instead of just spending all your money on clothes. I don't know if it's true, but I think that it just shows that you could be right over the difficulty of actually living so elaborately when the money's running out quite fast.
Yeah, but the thing is, Angela, with all the will in the world, she isn't going to be able to make the money required for the lifestyle that they believe they deserve to live, because they want
Yeah.
a private jet lifestyle. Now, remember, the only way that their mates or former mates like Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, Ellen DeGeneres actually were ever able to afford a private jet lifestyle was by working bloody hard, Angela. Excuse my French, but very, very hard for a very long time, 5 days a week, long hours. Now, Harry and Meghan believed that they were just going to continue on this gravy train without putting in any work. And you're completely right to point out that when it comes to Polo, they didn't do any work. They barely appeared in the series themselves. They haven't given one interview to promote it. And guess what? It's flopped. And I know we'll come to that later. But it's the bigger point, which is that this is all going to come to a head because Harry has been used to working very little in his life for a lot of privilege, and that's not how things work in the private sector.
No, I think after Christmas something will happen because if they're going to be together, they'll get back, and if they really annoy each other hugely, then it's not going to work at all. That he'll go off, she'll go off, and so that will be the end of it. If it does work, suddenly they feel, well, they do miss each other, and they will try and do something. I think it's unlikely, but anyway, then that would be the end of it. But and we'll say, well, they're going to try and make a different type of relationship for each other. But I don't think it can go on like this. And it's very odd that they are, making it month after month. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Get on with it. I think
Yeah.
maybe even Meghan might be looking around for another guy, and that's why she's even
Well,
going
that's what I
to.
was going to say, Angela. The thing is, for Meghan Markle, success is an aphrodisiac. And the problem is, they're not having success as a couple, and they're both struggling with it in their different ways.
Yes, and she might need a different sort of man who's even much more, got much more money, and go for that, which would make her very happy. So she's going out all the time because you never know who's going to be there.
Now, look, Angela, breaking right now. This is astonishing. Front page of the Sun newspaper. The Christmas party for Buckingham Palace staff spiraled out of control with police called after glasses were hurled and punches were thrown. So let me just take you through a little bit of this story in the Sun, Angela. They report that trouble flared when up to 50 servants arrived for a pre-arranged all bar one bash after palace drinks. A woman believed to be a housemaid aimed a punch at the manager, smashed glasses, and was arrested. Security tried to calm her down, but she continued to throw glasses, it is claimed. A witness to the chaotic scenes said, I've never seen one person get that crazy during a night out. She was on another level. And palace sources have confirmed to The Sun that it had been a tough night for everyone involved. Now, how is this going to be viewed within the palace, Angela? Will this be something that King Charles and Prince William are furious about? Or do they feel like actually sometimes our staff just need to let their hair down?
Well, she's 24, this woman, and she's a housemaid. So she's on the lowest of low jobs, really. And before I answer that bit, I mean, I think that if you are having drinks before you go out to have more drinks, if you're not, don't have much money and you're quite young, you can knock back masses of alcohol because it's free and you don't know what on earth you're doing. I think a lot of people now are very angry about how our country is and feel things aren't fair for them and worry about money hugely. So when they have alcohol, too much alcohol, they go berserk. But I mean, throwing glass is very important. I think she will quietly not get her job back. I think it's quite difficult for them to have somebody like that who stirred up such a lot of difficulty and to go on the front page is actually not what the king and queen want. You can feel sorry for her that perhaps she's got a terrible life at the moment and she drank so much so that she could cope with it. But on the other hand, when you've got something involved like glass, that's really, really dangerous. It's not just you shouting or not walking right, you're moving all over the place. But I think when you're actually trying to do that, a lot of harm could have been done. So I think they will be quite tough about it. I can't see how they can do anything else. And if you've got police coming, you are a laughing stock and they don't want that for themselves, are they? It's ridiculous in the police to collect one of their staff. Very foolish girl, or maybe she's at the bottom of her of her dreams and she doesn't know what she's doing. But I don't think it makes the royal family look good in any way.
No, that's true, Angela. Although, is it not fair to say that there has been a long history of courtiers or servants, sometimes, shall we say, having good times after dark? Do you remember the Queen Mother's gay servant, William Talon, was well known for having sex parties at the palace, Angela?
Yeah,
And the
but he
Queen
wasn't
Mother and,
found
and the
out, was
late
he?
Queen just turned a blind eye. because
Well,
they
they
loved
didn't
him.
know what was going on, but yeah, they did. So, but that's what they could enjoy. Throwing glass at people so it smashes is very different. I don't think anybody wants to see that or recognize that. I think that's dangerous.
Angela, you have been looking into the King's Christmas because, of course, what we know is that there'll be no Prince Harry, no Meghan, no invitation was received. But what have you found out about what I think will be quite a poignant Christmas? Because Charles obviously still battling cancer. Catherine has finished her chemotherapy, but this is the
Hmm.
first time that the whole family will be together for a private celebration after what has been a tumultuous and difficult year for the royal family. So, what do you know about the celebrations?
Well, one of the things is that for Queen Camilla, that she really wanted her son to come this year. Apparently, he didn't really do much at Christmas. He just walked about with his with jeans and joined his ex-wife so they could do it with their children. But he never actually been to a really smart Christmas lunch. And his mother said, please come, I really want you to come. And I think it's because, when you've both been ill, you worry about how much longer you've got a bit. And so, they both want all their people who love them to be around them. And he's agreed to go with his children. And his mother said, "You've got to take a tie." And he says, "I know, I know." So he'll turn up, and that will be very nice for them. And it's the first time that I think her family, as many as she wants, will be along with the King's family, and I think that's very nice. My think worry about the moment, not worry. My thoughts is, will Andrew go to the Christmas lunch? I mean, when I get to telling you about what's been happened with him, he might, suddenly realize he's got to wash his hair that evening or morning or something, and isn't able to come. It would be extremely embarrassing for everybody if he is there. And so he might not. And they don't know if Eugenie will be coming because Harry has invited her and husband and two children to come and have it with him. Now, that's a difficult one because Eugenie is one of these girls who gets on with, so many different types of people. And she has always been friends of Harry's from the time they were small children. And so it's difficult whether they'll try to go to the Christmas lunch first and then fly over to Harry, or whether she's going to pick just one. The interesting things, which I don't know, is whether Harry will be on his own or he will be with Meghan. So we'll have to see what she decides. But other than that, it's a lot of family. And I think when the older people have been unwell and seem to be coming through it, you have a sort of very warm feeling that you're all there together, and that's good and so nice. And I think it'll be not so organized as it was with the late Queen, where you had to do things absolutely right, and you if she stopped eating, you had to, no matter what was on your plate. And if you got exhausted, you wanted to go to sleep, you couldn't do that unless she went to bed first. So I don't think there'll be all those sorts of things in the same way. But I think it'll be very warm um, time. But those two small things have got to be organised first, decided first.
Okay, my prediction, Angela, is
Go
that
on.
Andrew goes because I think it's one of the only opportunities he has. And it's one of the only opportunities where he knows that it's impossible for the king to uninvite him, given it is a private event, it's a private family event. So I predict Andrew goes. It would be interesting, wouldn't it, if there was a citizen journalism in the crowd who decided to ask him about what's going on with this Chinese spy. So I think Andrew goes, I also reckon both Beatrice and Eugenie will be there. I mean, I know Harry's invited one of them over, but I reckon they'll be there because they love the fact that Fergie is now allowed to go to the royal Christmas, because of course for many, many years when Prince Philip was alive, that was not even able to be contemplated.
The latest wave of speculation didn't emerge out of nowhere. Over the past several months, Harry and Meghan have increasingly appeared to be focusing on separate projects rather than joint public appearances. Meghan has devoted significant attention to her lifestyle brand, podcast, and Netflix ventures, while Harry has continued concentrating on his charitable work, veterans initiatives, and international engagements. Some royal commentators believe this reflects two people naturally developing independent careers. Others interpret the shift as evidence that the couple's priorities are beginning to diverge. Without direct confirmation from either Harry or Meghan, both interpretations remain speculative. Several royal commentators have recently suggested that disagreements behind the scenes may be becoming more frequent. According to these reports, Harry is said to be frustrated by repeated public criticism directed at both himself and Meghan, while Meghan is reportedly focused on rebuilding her personal brand following several mixed business reviews. These claims have not been independently verified, but they have fueled renewed discussion about whether the couple is experiencing the same pressures that affect many high-profile public figures. Living under constant media scrutiny can undoubtedly place enormous strain on any relationship. One factor that cannot be ignored is the extraordinary level of attention surrounding the Sussexes. Almost every interview, public appearance, or business announcement generates intense debate across traditional media and social platforms. That level of scrutiny naturally creates opportunities for speculation, particularly when the couple chooses not to respond publicly. The absence of official comment often allows rumors to grow, even when there is little independently verified evidence to support them. This has become a recurring feature of Harry and Meghan's post-royal life. While headlines frequently describe dramatic developments within the Sussex marriage, the publicly confirmed facts remain relatively limited. Harry and Meghan continue to live together in California with their 2 children. Both remain active professionally, although their projects increasingly focus on separate interests. Beyond those observable facts, many of the strongest claims circulating online rely on unnamed sources or commentary rather than verifiable evidence. For that reason, it's important to distinguish between confirmed developments and ongoing speculation. Reports of alleged verbal disagreements and growing distance between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have once again placed the Sussexes at the center of royal headlines. Whether these stories reflect genuine difficulties or simply the inevitable speculation surrounding one of the world's most closely watched couples remains uncertain. What is clear is that Harry and Meghan continue to attract extraordinary public attention, and every new project, interview, or appearance fuels another round of debate about their future. As always, viewers should separate verified facts from reported claims and follow developments as more information becomes available.